And guess what? We're back with another edition of the Greg Cherry Show. Welcome, everybody. Yes, I know I wasn't on last week, had some personal stuff to deal with, but I'm back this week. So we're good to go. Of course, you see on the screens, we are Doc Brown and Marty McFly, because today's Back to the Future Day.
Are you telling me about a podcast? You know, a StreamYard? No.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Well, a lot of things have happened since that movie came out. The Cubs actually did win the World Series a year after they were said they were going to. So that was.
And the funny thing was, there was a team in Miami when that happened. So there you go.
That's very true. Actually, we were getting
ready
to
World Series, but you know.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because my wife and I were we in Miami? Because we were going on a cruise the next day. So yeah, we were. It was either Fort Lauderdale or Miami, so we were actually down there for that. But either way, hope you guys enjoy the show. Yes, thank you.
If you don't, we're Bob Zemeckis and Bob Gale.
Yeah, thanks, Domestic Butler. I appreciate it. It's good to be back. Good to be back in the normal flow of things. Right. And of course, we got quite a bit to talk about today. So that being said, we're going to be talking about football and wrestling as we do every week, and as we will until basically, February, because the Super Bowl's not till then. And going to talk about wrestling as we always do. Lots to talk about
in February because of the XFL.
Exactly. Lots to talk about there. What's trending now? Hopefully not a whole lot of politics stuff. I know the debate's tomorrow. Whatever. It's all work. Buy the shirt. I mean, seriously, you guys know my opinions on this if you watched the show, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, whatever it was. And I'm sure the day after the election is going to be a fun episode because we're not doing, let me put it this way. The day after the election, we are not doing this segment. Point blank, we're not going to. Because the election will either be over or it will be a giant cluster. So we're not doing it either day. Either way, rather. Weird Law Wednesday, of course, the Missouri edition this time around. Did Iowa last week. How did the Iowa one go, by the way?
It was, you know what? It was cool for me to read Iowa because my family's from Becker, as I said. And I was rather unsurprised at how bad shit the laws were back there. So the people were digging on it. And the reason we picked Missouri is because Bob Gale, the writer of Back to the Future, is from Missouri. So there you go.
Yes.
And I'm actually in a chat room on the other end of this. We may have a special guest call in here, Tor, in just a minute here. So.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So, and also,
related, so there you go.
There you go. And Wednesday Q&A, as we always do. Jeff. This is something I'm sure you're not looking forward to discussing. And
I have my cowboy football. I don't know if you can see it up there. I don't want to talk about football no more.
I know, I know, but we have to. Like we have to talk about
you
guys
it. Whooping that ass. So,
I know. Steelers won 38-7 on Sunday against the Browns.
Yes.
And Notre Dame escaping Louisville. That does not bode well for the rest of the season that they had to escape 1-3 Louisville. But Notre Dame is still undefeated. They're the number 3 team in the country, playing Pitt this weekend.
Yes.
So Pitt, I don't know what it is about the Pitt Panthers, but they always... You never know what to expect from them. They could be 0-5 going into this game and play them harder than any top 10 team in the country. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand it either.
And everybody knows, like, I'm a Pittsburgh guy, not with college football. Not with college football at all. No. In fact, I can't stand the Panthers. I can't. They're obnoxious.
Since we're being honest today.
Yeah. It's so weird to me going into college football stadium, Heinz Field, and being the away team and then going there on Sundays and being the home team. It's such a weird feeling.
Yeah, I can only imagine what goes through your head during that process.
Yeah, and they're actually coming to Pittsburgh. My dad and I were supposed to go to that game. With all the COVID stuff, it's not going to happen.
Right.
But maybe it's for the best. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, I brought up, and I tweeted this the other day after Monday Night Football, and I'm sure Statboy brought it up on the show. He said he was going to.
Yes.
The Cowboys are on pace right now to give up the most points in a season in NFL history. And it's not like they're just going to barely pass it. If they continue giving up the average of 38 points a game, they are going to blow the Baltimore Colts out of the freaking water.
The Baltimore Colts, people. How long ago did they leave Baltimore?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? To his credit, though, Zeke owned it, man. Zeke went in that press conference and owned his shit. He was like, "My bad, y'all." So Zeke played like shit, and God bless Andy, man. He's coming into a freaking pressure cooker situation, and having to perform under the gun, and he buckled. It's flat out buckle. He threw 2 interceptions in the second half. So it was just a very bad day to be a Cowboy. As we say at Canyon High School when we lose, it's good to be a Cowboy when we win, but it was a very bad day to be a Cowboy Sunday.
But the weird thing is, despite all of that, they still lead the NFC East. How bad is that division?
I feel like when we talk about football every single season, we're talking about how bad the NFC East is consistently.
But this is like
every year we
another
discuss
level
football,
of bad.
It's the worst thing ever.
I don't think even last year or any of the previous years, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever we are into the season, that a 2-4 team would lead a division.
What the funny thing is, Michael, you're right. The Cowboys may be the worst team in the worst division ever, but they're still winning the damn division.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Giants, you got the Washington football team, you got the Eagles. All of them are just, and the Eagles. The Eagles waited until the fourth quarter to start playing the Ravens, and they nearly freaking tied it and sent it to overtime.
Yeah, I was very grateful to myself that I did not allow myself to post Statboy's show to Aaron's thing yesterday because I was F-bombing left and right during the football recap.
Yeah.
Because I can't stand the friggin' Eagles or the former Redskins or the damn Giants, and
Yeah, and none of them. Well, I think the Giants picked up their first win on Sunday.
They did.
So now they're pulling even with Washington and Philly.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what.
If your goal is to pull even with Washington, you have goal issues, folks.
I mean, the Giants are just falling apart at the seams, and they're still only one game out of the first place.
They've been falling apart. They've been falling like a goddamn free fall attraction since Eli left and what's his name? The old crotchety ass coach left.
Coughlin.
Couldn't tell you. Yeah, like they've just been free fall.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it doesn't help that Saquon's out for the year.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, not that meant anything when he played the Steelers. We held him to 6 yards on 17 carries or whatever it was. Might have been negative actually. Like we Steelers defense stuffed him. Got a lot of comments that I'm not reading yet.
I think you need to shut your fat mouth, Michael. That's what I think. I just think you need to be quiet. Just throwing it out there.
Well, it's going to be a very interesting episode of this show after the Steelers and the Cowboys play each other.
Is that the game on Sunday?
It's not. No, this Sunday the Steelers play the Titans.
Oh, that's right.
And then the Steelers play the Ravens the week after, and the weekend after my birthday is the Steelers and the Cowboys.
Oh, thank God for Thanksgiving, because we suck on Thanksgiving anymore.
I don't think the Steelers have a Thanksgiving game.
That used to be our day, man. It's just Thanksgiving.
Well, between you guys and the Lions, and then they threw in a Thursday night game too. It's like, not that I'm going to complain about NFL football being on Thanksgiving. I mean, that's my bread and butter, quite frankly.
Right.
While I have my bread and butter. So there you go.
I understood that reference.
And it's And Colin, he was really looking forward to how the Browns were playing so far, but Sunday was embarrassing. Well, the Steelers
you know
are
what?
arguably one of the top defenses in the league, if not the top defense right now.
Right. I actually said this. I don't know if I said it with you or whoever, but we were talking about the fact that Cleveland beat Dallas, and they
Mm-hmm.
said, what's going to happen with Pittsburgh? I said, you got to understand something. Beating Dallas in 2020 is a much different animal than beating Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is rolling.
And beating
So,
Pittsburgh in 2020 has not happened as of yet.
exactly. So,
Which the Titans game on Sunday is going to be very interesting. It's going to be, and maybe this is something that needs to be said. There is a big differential in like team status, like class, if you will, between the Steelers and the Ravens, both of them together, and the Browns and the Bengals. I mean, there's. I know the Browns are 4-2. They're not out of the AFC North race by any stretch of the imagination, but the Steelers and the Ravens are in a class by themselves, which is going to be
they are.
very
They
interesting
really
come
are
November
this year.
1st for the first Steelers Ravens game of the season.
Right.
And you know what? I wonder if it's going to be something where the Steelers defense actually shuts Lamar Jackson down.
Right.
Because you have to remember, in the Steelers Ravens game last year, they went to overtime with their third string quarterback.
Yeah, they did.
Steelers did, because Ben was out, Mason Rudolph got taken out. So we were going in with Duck Hodges, and they nearly won that damn game.
I'm
Granted,
such an old school cartoon kid. I can't hear the name of that thinking Duck Dodgers in the 24th of the half century. Anyway,
I appreciate that reference,
thank you very much.
but
It's not always Disney with me.
yeah, it's going to be rough going
Yeah.
on November 1st. But again,
Yeah.
it's going to be a Ravens team with at least one loss against the Steelers team with at most one loss, depending on how this Titans game goes. Or it could be undefeated Pittsburgh going against one loss or two loss Baltimore. It's not an easy stretch, but if the Steelers make it through those games, they might not only win the AFC North, they might win the entire conference.
Yeah. And then I dare say, come February, we're looking at the big one. So.
Ring number 7. I'm hoping something to salvage out of this freaking year.
Okay, let me just get that knife out of my side there for that ring reference. Yeah, there we go.
Hey, it is what it is.
Five
Hey,
forever.
yeah, I was gonna say the Cowboys still have a chance to make the playoffs, even if they give up more points than any other team in NFL history.
Because it's 2020.
And why not? Watch the Cowboys make the freaking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
While being like 5-11, which I don't even know is possible to win the division at 5-11. But I guess if you beat the other teams, then you're going to have the division record.
Yeah, if you win your division, that the other 11 can just be whatever they are. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Football's weird.
Sports is weird. Period. In 2020, it's bananas.
I'm telling you what.
But somebody in SoCal is 3 wins away from their first and 32. So there you go.
There you go.
God, I was on the show with Staffway yesterday, and I looked up to, I said, "Dear God," and Vin Scully, who's also God, please bring us the World Series. Just please. My brother will be so happy. My son will be so happy for seeing his first World Championship in his lifetime for a team out here, and then I can just relax until next season with baseball. Please,
Yeah.
please.
So
Here's the thing:
do the
If
Lakers not count?
No. You know what? Honestly, I've kind of given up my bitch the Lakers because they they were phenomenal. There's no doubt about it. I'm just not a basketball fan as a rule. So, but I will say this: if the Dodgers don't win the World Series this time, there is no excuse. They choked.
Yeah. Well, they're
you
up. They're up 1-0. So there
They're
you
up
go.
1-0 going into the night. Exactly. But the thing is, I was calling them choke artists, before the whole Houston, Boston shenanigans the last couple seasons. So it's, if they don't win now, they can't, they can't tell me they're not choke artists. So.
Yep.
And Mikey says, I forgot to bring up a tweet you sent out.
So he didn't bring it up. I brought it up here. So.
Right. We got you, Mikey. You're all good,
Yep.
brother.
I covered
We
it.
appreciate you watching, though, by the way. It's
Yes.
10 o'clock in the morning. Good for you, man.
And just says, go Miami Dolphins, who have a new quarterback as of this Sunday.
Yes.
Tua. It's Tua time.
Tua time, baby.
And we'll see if he has the magic. No shot to former quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick, former starting quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick. But we'll see if Tua has his Alabama magic to help the Dolphins do what they can in the AFC East.
Hashtag Roll Tide.
Never say that again on the show.
Hey, you know what? I'm a Conrad Thompson fan. I gotta get at least one in for Mr. Thompson.
You know that is still a sore spot for me.
I know, but you know what? Again, I'm not a Bama fan myself, so let me just throw it out there. I can't stand they win every friggin' year. It drives me crazy. But
Well, I'm telling you what, the weekend or this episode of the show after my birthday is going to be after Notre Dame against Clemson and the Steelers and the Cowboys. It's either going to be, I'm either going to be super happy,
right,
mixed emotions, or I'm going to be one depressed mother effer.
And let's all thank God Greg doesn't drink. Positive or negative on that respect.
Yeah.
Because if he's a celebratory drunk, we're not going to bring him on the air Wednesday.
No, I don't drink at all. That's not a problem. But let's get into wrestling. Because, I mean, we spent the first 15 minutes on football, which is always a good thing. I love talking about football.
Yes, because wrestling is just kind of, and you know what? We're going to go in depth with it tomorrow for the Hell in Cell predictions, wherever channel the hell I do it on. So,
Yeah. But wrestling, what do you think about Retribution? I mean, the whole thing with Ali was supposed to be a big positive for them. And Raw just tore them down.
I said this Monday during Talk Wrestling. I said it yesterday during Stat Boy's show. I got it. The very first question I got asked, it was from Mr. Yuck, our buddy Mr. Yuck. It was on a tweet, and I put the tweet up on the overlay. He asked me, what would I do with Retribution since it seems we're going to be stuck with them for a while? And I said, in that moment, at the very start of the show, I wouldn't have booked them in the first place. And I would find a way to make it not happen anymore. I signed off at 5 minutes to 5, which would be 8 o'clock for the start of Raw. Within 30 minutes of Raw, they were beaten and buried.
Yeah.
So then I went to Statboy. I said, what was the over-under on Retribution dying 30 minutes after I went off the air?
Yeah. Going back to football briefly, Colin's asking, you're a Penn State fan too, aren't you, Greg? My dad's family is Penn State fans, but they live out that way. My dad and I are Notre Dame fans. The Penn State thing did not pass down to me. The Notre Dame fandom did. So I don't mind the Nittany Lions, but they are not my team.
I am a fan of the Penn State fans. And I'll tell you why. And I think you'll understand when I start telling the story. The first ever WWF draft.
Yep.
2002.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering if that's where you're going with it.
The Rock gets drafted, and Vince gets the chant of a lifetime. You are an asshole.
Mm-hmm. I knew that. I had a feeling that's where you were going with it.
God bless Penn State for that. For real. And it was the whole night.
Yes. Just when Vince was up
Flair
there,
came out to just randomly do a pick, and he went, I think they're calling your name again. He just went. They didn't begrudge him a bit.
No. Uh,
That's still the best draft ever. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
oh, it was a fantastic draft because it was treated.
Great draft. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's my problem
Draft.
with the drafts as they are now.
Yes.
Why do you feel the need to redraft the entire roster?
Right.
Why not do what they did in '07 and '08, '09, 2010, 2011? Have Raw superstars against SmackDown superstars. Realistically, you could throw NXT in there too. Have them compete against each other, and the winners actually determine who gets a random draft pick. I think that adds more excitement than the whole redraft.
Right.
Because it's like, hey, you draft 50 people back to the same show and like have 6 or 7 people switch. Like, you're not going to want to, like, it's just a ratings grab at this point. It's like, actually make it mean something.
Yeah.
Doing it in October, I understand for like the whole season premieres and whatnot. Come on. Like, I don't know.
And
just me ranting.
Scaling back to Retribution. So I'm if you're watching WWE, I hope you are, because I'd love some clarification on this. Retribution, who stole our boss's middle name, for the record, not only did they attack and vandalize WWE property more than once. In order to stop that from happening, they signed them to contracts, and with the proviso that they can do whatever they wanted once. So we don't want you to attack anymore, but you can do what you want. Okay, so there's that. Then in the draft, rather than draft the members of the team apart and solve the problem of the attacks, Raw not only make sure they draft them to stay on the show, but they keep them together. Okay.
A wise man once said, "Don't apply logic to wrestling."
I believe that wise man was me.
It was either you or my buddy Chris.
Accurate. It's just awful, and we all knew it was a matter of time before Ali did the big reveal that he was the hacker.
Yeah.
But they waited till after they got their asses handed to them at the start of the show. And they did the promo backstage like a bunch of chicken shits. So, fell flat, no impact, just awful. And of course, Mr. Williams, who earlier said, by the way, about Missouri, that a lot of his family is from Missouri as well, so we're going to be talking about Missouri later for the weird state laws. The WWE season usually begins the night after WrestleMania, where it all begins again, right, Vince? WrestleMania is the season finale, so do the draft on the Raw and SmackDown immediately following Mania, just my opinion.
Correct.
Again,
now, let me...
Go ahead,
I was going to say, let me address this. You're right. The WWE season happens the night after WrestleMania. However, television seasons are different. They start when you figure Raw came back to USA in 2005 in early October. SmackDown also early October went to Fox. So their seasons, as far as television is concerned, start in October. WWE's like new, whether it's a fiscal year, I don't know what it is, but it starts after WrestleMania. So yes, this whole season premiere of Raw being in October seems weird, but it's just a television thing. Don't take it too seriously. It's not that big a deal as far as, WWE storylines now start in October. It's just a television thing. It's not that important.
I love Colin's comment here, by the way. I'll throw it up there. The fact that Dijakovic took the tap out Monday just blows my mind too.
No, I mean, they're at this point, like the Nexus is sitting back there laughing at him. Like,
seriously, Wade Barrett's sitting in his nice little cushy announce jump going, dumbasses.
He's about to tell Retribution that he's got some bad news.
Hey, Darren Young, Fred Roser, has a chance to be the first ever United Wrestling Network World Heavyweight Champion. So
good for him. Good for Fred.
So, Nexus is doing their thing outside WWE, except for Brian, who's still whooping that ass. So there you go.
Yeah, he's still there. Ryback is whatever.
Ryback has an awesome kind of shirt with our brand. So there you go.
Yeah, the Feed Me S'mores.
Skippy Flyback.
Oh, that one. Okay. I was talking about the Feed Me S'mores one, which I still need to get.
Oh, well, Feed Me S'mores is great too, but the Skippy Flyback was a personal suggestion of mine because my dad called him that once and it just like stuck in my brain forever. So it's good shit, pal.
It is. All right. Is there anything really that we need to talk about wrestling? I mean, Hell in a Cell's coming up Sunday. Not a whole lot of card right now.
Yeah, I'm very much debating whether I'm gonna actually do a watch along because as much as I want to see Sasha and Bailey, even though it's an early payoff and I hate it that they're doing it, I do want to see it. But do I really want to sit through a card that's literally being thought up probably like now?
Yeah. I mean,
a few days to go. I don't care. I don't care. If I don't care enough outside of my thought process to want to spend money to buy the show, why am I going to waste y'all's time watching it along with me?
Just as a thought, can you imagine? I know this won't happen, but can you imagine if Bailey just like straight up doesn't sign the contract and refuses to give Sasha the match, and then they don't actually have the match at Hell in a Cell?
You know, I was thinking the exact same thing after last week's show, and I would love the shit out of that.
Yeah, the Bailey just kind of avoids Sasha for the time being, like doesn't even defend the championship. And people will be like, oh, why aren't they defending the championship? They're ruining the storyline. It's like, first of all, I've brought this up multiple times on this show. Whenever a show happens, that's not the last show to ever happen. There is more story to be told. It's a soap opera. There are continuing stories going on. Just be patient.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, as much as we're not patient, neither is the company.
Yeah.
I said this last couple of weeks. Like there was, I know there's not actual buy rate money anymore because WrestleMania is on the network too and whatever.
Yeah.
But there is money being left on the table, not putting Sasha and Bailey in a marquee, dare I say, main event match in Tampa, wherever the hell they have it next year.
I mean, Sasha and Bailey for the SmackDown Women's Championship, I still think should have been the main event of WrestleMania 37. Just because the story is there. And you let the two of them do what they did in Brooklyn. Give them complete freedom to do whatever they want. And they could tell a masterful story and arguably put on the best match of the night, if not the best match of the year. Everybody, let me say something also. Because I have seen over the last few months, years, whatever the case may be, so much hate for Sasha Banks. Somebody tried to tell me that Sasha Banks is not in the top 100 women's wrestlers of all time. And I thought to myself, this guy is either ignorant, stupid, or racist. Because there is no way on any planet you can tell me that Sasha is not in the top 100. If you try and tell me Sasha's not in the top 10, I'll think the same way of you. Of course, I of the personal belief that Sasha is the best wrestler on the planet. You and I disagree on that, Jeff. I know you think Charlotte, I think Sasha. But
I actually don't anymore, for the record.
Oh. Who did you change to?
Sasha Banks. I said it. I don't remember when I said it, but I have been so impressed with not only her in-ring stuff, because her in-ring stuff has never been anything but impeccable.
Mm-hmm. Oh, her and Asuka at SummerSlam was golden.
Yeah. But she hurt Paige. Fuck off. Really? Sorry, there's the one up on there. Sorry,
yeah.
There it is.
You know what? Seth Rollins ended Sting's career. What are you going to say about that? He injured Balor, cost him the Universal title. He broke John Cena's nose. Shall I go on?
Yeah. Well, some people will say 4 out of 10 about that. So there you go.
Yeah.
But some people are also bitter. But yeah, you can't. actively sit in a conversation with rational wrestling fans, which I know is an oxymoron above oxymorons, but and tell me that Sasha's not one of the best female wrestlers, dare I say one of the best wrestlers on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and she honestly just across the board, she's impressed the shit out of me the last couple years. I said it when she came up that she was my least favorite of the horsewomen, and she's completely hot shotted over all the other three. Now, granted, Becky's doing her thing, and God bless her for that, because we need pretty babies in the world, and Seth and Becky are both good looking people, so there you go. But when she comes back, we'll see what things play out. I still honestly think there's money there if Becky does come back, having Ronda whoop that ass and have a Mania match. So that's just because Ronda's got heat for being cheated, and she feels in storylines. So
right.
there's money there too. Sasha has been it's not even about best. Sasha's been the most consistent performer in any women's division in the company the last year or two, since she came back from her little, people call it a bitch fest, hiatus, whatever. Since she's been back, she's done nothing but be consistent and kick ass.
Mm-hmm.
And she's turned the tide with me. So I stand with you in the love of the boss, sir.
Yes, and it's a shame that the Hell in a Cell between the two, between Sasha and Becky, is overlooked simply because of how trash the main event was that night.
Yeah, it's a damn shame. But I will say this: Domestic Butler has the hot take. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think about that. Sasha's trying to get this match with Bayley, and fights her on it for months.
Yeah.
Like, Sasha would do everything she can. She can't face her at Survivor Series. She'll have to represent Team SmackDown or something. Have Team SmackDown win the tri-branded Survivor Series match. Have Sasha be the last one standing to further her momentum. Go to TLC or whatever December's pay-per-view is, and have Bayley completely avoid Sasha again, have her defend against, I don't even know who's on the women's roster SmackDown anymore since the draft, but have her face somebody else. Have Bayley
fuck it.
Why not? And then have Sasha start the Women's Rumble at number 1.
Coast to coast.
Exactly. Make Sasha be the first woman to win from number 1. Face off against Bayley at WrestleMania, because then Bayley will have no way out of it.
Right.
There's your WrestleMania main event.
Yeah,
it's right there, guys. Take it and run. As much as I would love to see Sasha and Becky in Hell in a Cell, hell, do the Hell in a Cell at Mania. You don't have to have the pay-per-view, you're hot-shotting it just because. That is something I've also mentioned on the show that frustrates me. You hot-shot gimmick matches just because you have that pay-per-view coming up. Stop it. Just rename your pay-per-views to No Mercy and Armageddon and all that shit. Just come on. You don't need the only gimmick pay-per-view where the gimmick match has to take place there is the Rumble. That's it. You don't, and Survivor Series, but you don't need, stop. You don't need Hell in a Cell pay-per-views. You don't need TLC pay-per-views. We saw how Breaking Point did as a submission-only pay-per-view. That was a train wreck and a half.
Although Cena versus Orton was freaking fantastic.
I mean, it was.
It was ridiculous how good that match was, and I don't give the Orton Cena matches all the credit I should, but that match was ridiculous.
Well, I was at a Cena Orton match during that feud.
As far as
what's up, Mix? How you doing?
Reviews, I will say this: the entire reason we have 12 a year is because of escalation to respond to WCW.
Yeah.
WCW's been gone for almost 20 years. It'll be 20 years in a few months.
Okay.
There's that. why do we need more than the big four? Or if you want to throw Money in the Bank in there and keep it intact, fine.
Do one every 2
Or
months.
yeah. If you do six, if you keep Money in the Bank in place, and you bring back, I don't know, the King of the Ring, and make it actually worth something, like the winner gets a shot at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
think I've laid this out more than once on my shows.
yeah.
The
Do a
Rumble
pay
winner,
per view in January, March,
May
either April or May,
or June.
June,
Yeah.
August,
Okay.
November. There you go.
Right. Yeah, because you've got, if you have the Rumble winner challenge at Mania, if you have the King of the Ring challenge at SummerSlam, and you have the winning Survivor Series team get some sort of advantage somewhere down the line, all the while the Money in the Bank contract's just weaving around in there. You never know when you're going to strike, unless
Mm-hmm.
you're a big giant person in a cape and a mask on Monday, looking like even stupider than you usually look. Am I the only one that wants my boy Mike to win his court case and get the damn contract?
I mean, I'd rather him give it to Morrison because John Morrison. Yeah, Miz already won his Money in the Bank. Give it to Morrison. If Morrison is ridiculous, like still athletic to this day, it is insane that he has not missed a step. He might have gained a step, for crying out loud.
He did. I know he did for a fact.
Yeah, I mean, Jomo needs more than being in the Miz and Morrison tag team. Like, it's a nice little brush of like history, because
Jomo
the Miz and Morrison
needs more than his only world title reign being a footnote to the worst day ever. Just saying.
Well, I mean, he was Impact champion too, and Lucha Underground champion, but
okay, his only WWE recognized world championship reign is a footnote of the most tragic day in the history of the business. So let's give him a better rub than that. For real.
But at least the day he lost the ECW title, it was his and Punk's best match against each other.
Yeah, it's that's something, because even Punk was saying himself the first two matches were shit.
Like they were. I mean, realistically,
and they were. Like I love both those guys, but they were awful matches. They just didn't have it.
They didn't gel till that televised match, and then for some reason
so
everything just clicked.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things where usually people get up for a pay-per-view, but Punk and John just freaking went to TV and went, all right, hell with it, we're doing it. And they did it.
Well,
I do feel that, Punk losing the title to Chavo was a tragedy. I love Chavo. I've always loved Chavo. He's a great guy, but that was dumb. And then Chavo's loss was even more horrible, and I get to experience it live. But yeah, this John Morrison not being a WWE or World Heavyweight or Universal Champion at this point is a crime. Because as much as us hardcore kids love the ECW Championship, even though Vince had held it already by then, which, whatever, the ECW Championship post Rob will never be looked upon with anything favorably.
Yeah.
So
I'd rather maybe Christian's reign.
Christian's reign only because Christian came back to the company and said, I want that. Which is huge. And Tommy, of course, getting his feel good, right. That was cool. Mm. But, at that point, it really it wasn't an ECW championship. It was just the brand that happened to be named ECW. And I've said that for years, that if they had called that brand anything else, it wouldn't have tanked so bad. Anyway, we're getting off into the weeds.
We've gone 40 minutes. I think we're going to scrap the Twitter one for today, just because.
Yay!
Yeah, it's kind of a cluster. So, as much as everybody loves what's trending now, I don't even know if you guys do. There's sometimes it's kind of a train wreck. We're going to go to Weird Law Wednesday for Missouri. There aren't a whole lot of laws either, so we can as far as state laws, there's only 4, and the rest of them are in the cities. So let's get going on this one. So in Missouri, if you are single and between the ages of 21 and 50, you must pay an annual tax of $1. There's literally a single tax.
Single tax.
It's only $1.
Barbaric.
I mean,
That's cruel.
Okay,
but think about it. If you're perpetually single, like some people, you've got $31
30.
$30 out of your pocket.
Yeah.
Which means you can't buy yourself that freaking extra large, dinner at Club 33. Which sucks.
There you go.
Not Club 33. That's the horrible lie because they're $100 there. At Black Angus. There you go.
Also in Missouri, it is illegal to have oral sex.
Quit.
Yep.
What the hell, Missouri? What the hell? Okay, so you're charging us for being single, and we can't even get head. What the hell's going on over there?
I wonder if that applies if you're married too. It's like, hey, we're married. It's okay. Again, how do you like?
How do you determine that's a thing?
Yeah, what, you watching people? It's like Big Brother's watching you. Well, I freaking hope not.
Well, CBS there.
Yeah. But also in Missouri, figure this one out. It is not illegal to speed.
So you tax us for being single. You ban us from doing, getting head, but you don't mind if we drive out there as fast as we possibly can.
Well, hey, I guess if you're getting roadhead going 100 miles an hour, how are they going to catch you?
Accurate.
Ha! Suck it, Missouri.
Well, you can't yet. You have to get out of Missouri first.
Oh, shit. Well done.
Dude, somebody screen cap that reaction and put it on my timeline now. That was the best thing ever. Greg just totally spazzed.
So it might not be illegal to speed, but while driving, you need a permit to shave. This would probably be, even if you had the permit, it would probably also not be a good idea to speed. Because imagine slowing down while you're doing this with a razor.
And now
you won't have the side of your face.
And now I'm imagining combining the roadhead and the shaving. It's just a very bad visual in my head.
Yeah. Okay, we're way into the weeds or out of the weeds or left field something. I don't know. In
back into the left. Is that what you're telling me?
In Purdy, Missouri, dancing is strictly prohibited.
This is the worst state ever.
Is that the Footloose town?
That's a good question. Mr. Fuji will investigate.
Yes. In St. Louis, Missouri, a milkman may not run while on duty.
Well, I would hope not.
Well, what if he's late getting people their milk?
Well, he shouldn't be running with milk because milk is messy when it's spilled.
And also, are milkmen still a thing?
I'm not sure. For the record, the Footloose town is Beaumont, Oklahoma.
Oh.
Or it's Bomont. I assume it says Beaumont, but Beaumont usually is Beau. So
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, I've not seen a milkman in modern times, so I don't know.
Also in St. Louis, it is illegal to sit on the curb of any city street and drink beer from a bucket.
Can you drink it from a bottle or a can? Because I'm good with that.
I'm guessing. I wonder if it means... I don't know if it means like straight from a bucket, like you pour the beer into a bucket and it's just like, right. Or if it means like you, right. Like, yeah, you put the ice in the bucket and put the beers in. I don't know.
Either way, it's stupid.
This seems very terrible. And I feel like would go against like any moral code whatsoever.
We've already done past that on this show. So.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. In St. Louis, it is illegal for an on-duty firefighter to rescue a woman wearing a nightgown. In order to be rescued, a woman must be fully dressed. So if you're wearing a nightgown, you can burn.
That's right.
That's terrible.
Wow. Big G's here, so I just want to say hi to Big G, and yes. Of course Bales is here, and yep. God bless Bales. She's supervising school time for her boy and losing hair left and right because the kid's crazy. We love you, Bales.
Here's my question.
Yes.
And really, here's my thought after doing this law segment. I'm assuming a lot of these are like old timey laws that somebody just like didn't repeal or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Anybody who wants to complain about the laws now and like, oh, we don't have things the way we want them. Think about how things were like 150 years ago. You guys living today should be thanking God that you have the rights that you have now, because you didn't have that 150 years ago. Even with these ridiculous laws that we're reading, some of you bitches are entitled.
Yeah.
Knock it off.
And if you're in states that have less weird shit than this and you're complaining, think about your brothers and sisters in Missouri and then think about what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because you can't even get head in Missouri. But you can speed, but you can't. What was the first one he said?
If you're single between the ages of 21 and 50, you have to pay $1 of tax.
So it's like, you can't be single without losing money, and you can't get head, but you can speed, but you can't drink beer. It's the weirdest state ever.
Yeah. So this is not a place for Chuck Taylor to go, but in Mole, Missouri.
I know, for the record.
In Mole, Missouri, frightening a baby is in violation of the law.
I understand the Chuck Taylor reference.
Yes.
If you know, you know. In PWG, when he was starting to become the Chuck Taylor that we all know and laugh at now.
Yeah.
It was a very scary transformation.
Watching Chuck Taylor PWG clips and like just other indie stuff of him scaring kids and just having ridiculous screams is hysterical.
Yeah, I was watching when he was screaming at the lightest touch. Like it was so, he's so brilliant. He's way underrated to this day, I say.
All right, what else? Kind of related, in Saco, Missouri, women are forbidden from wearing hats that might frighten timid persons, children, or animals.
Well, I mean, might as well not let them wear hats. They're not going to be doing anything with their faces anyway. So,
oh boy, you're really stuck on that one law.
Dude, okay, yeah, I am, and that's okay.
In Buckner, Missouri.
Buckner, that's a happy name.
Oh yeah. In this small town of only 4,000, yard waste may be burned any day except Sunday.
That one actually makes sense.
Yeah.
The small towns have the weird stuff like that, and you shouldn't be burning things on Sunday. It's wrong. So
right.
Yeah, I got you.
The only thing that gets burned on Sunday is the Dallas Cowboys defense. Hey.
Not Missouri, because ain't no football team there no more. Ah!
Yeah, that's true.
We got them back, bitches.
In Columbia, Missouri, though clotheslines are banned, clothes may be draped over a fence.
Well, I guess Bradshaw's out of work in Missouri. That's okay.
Yeah, just in Columbia.
Just Columbia.
In Kansas City,
Columbia. No.
Yeah, in Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh, here we go.
Installation of bathtubs with 4 legs resembling animal paws is prohibited. So
You
no
know, I can actually
clawfoot
see
tubs
why
in
that'd be a
Kansas
thing.
City.
Yeah, I actually, yeah. Okay.
I mean, being somebody who has a clawfoot tub, I get it. I totally get it.
They're very interesting looking if they're not your acquired taste. So I get it.
Yeah, it was here when we got the house.
Yeah.
Not our first option.
No.
We're looking at replacing it anyway because it's
Now, is
a
that
pain.
your bathroom or the one I used?
Well, we only have the one, so
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Wait. You guys have a master bathroom?
no.
Oh.
We have one bathroom in the whole house.
Oh. Now I know why the GoFundMe was so important.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We actually just had to replace our sink yesterday because the guy who lived here and tore apart our bathroom completely effed it up
Of course you did.
and failed to pay us 4 months of rent. So he's a top tier guy, clearly.
Senior Dick Cheese. There you go. That's it.
Yes.
By the way, as far as sinks, I shit
Yeah.
you not. We had my mom and dad's master bath sink. Now we're going off in the weeds again. That's okay. Dripped for like, I'm not kidding, years before we were able to get it fixed, just because the plumbing situation out here is just ridiculous.
Right.
So I'm in the kitchen a couple weeks ago, and I'm doing dishes, running water, and Mom goes, "You're wasting water." I'm like, "We had a sink running for 5 years. Leave me alone."
Yeah. All right, you guys, get your questions in. We're going to do a couple more laws, and then we'll do a brief Q&A. So here we go.
Q&A time, kids. Stand by.
In, I believe it's Marceline, Missouri. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong.
The hometown of Walt Disney, Marceline, yes.
Oh, Marceline. There you go. Minors can buy rolling paper and tobacco, but not lighters.
That explains so much. Dude, like, the fact that Disney died because he was a chimney smoker, yeah, there you go. Explains everything.
Well, there you go. But you can probably buy candles, like light up the candle and then
match.
Then you're set. So if you're 12 and you want to smoke that damn bad, don't do it. By the way, that's not advice. Please don't take that as advice. Yes. The thoughts and opinions of the Greg Show. Okay.
The Greg Show should not represent moral standards of youth in America.
Yeah. Oh boy. In Natchez, Missouri, it shall be unlawful to provide beer or other intoxicants to elephants.
What about poor Dumbo?
I mean, after all that flying, don't you think the guy could use a beer?
Dude, if I'm up in the air that much, carrying that much weight, I'm going to need a beer when I come down. Not to mention carrying that damn rat around.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And finally,
here we go.
This just seems odd to me. In University City, Missouri,
which is actually the hometown of Bob Gale, for the record, so it wraps around great to the day.
No person may own a PVC pipe.
Shit.
Considering that's like half of our plumbing in this house, we'd be screwed.
Right? Oh my God. That's awesome.
So there you go. That's Weird Law Wednesday. We'll be back next week with another state. And now we're on to Wednesday Q&A. And I saw an interesting one.
Okay.
The This Guy Experience. If you could only watch one, football or wrestling, what would you choose?
Is he asking one or the other, or which one from each sport?
I'm guessing one or the other.
Oh, honestly, and I've said this before, I am a Dallas Cowboys fan, but if football disappeared for me, I wouldn't hate life. Wrestling is what I do. It's what I cover every single day on my channel. So I'm going wrestling on that one.
Yeah. I might go the opposite way. I love wrestling, but football's my jam.
Oh, for real.
My fandom of Notre Dame is one of the biggest connections between me and my dad.
Yep.
And I love watching Steelers football with other people who enjoy the game. It's just a different experience than watching wrestling, because wrestling you don't always have to pay attention to.
Right.
Like when you're with other people, like when I do the Rumble weekends here, you don't always have to pay attention to everything necessarily.
Right.
But with football, it seems like everything's important.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Now,
so
go ahead.
I love wrestling, but I gotta have my football.
Now, asterisks. If you tell me hockey or wrestling, my head explodes.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, at least your hockey team's won, what, 2 cups in the last 10 years? So
yes,
there you go.
Barely. It's almost been 10 now. Jesus.
Yeah.
Hey, we had a good draft though, so we'll see what happens come January 1st.
Yeah. Yeah, we will see. But that is a hard choice, though. I mean, I love wrestling, like I said before.
Yeah.
But for me, I'd have to say football. And it's weird to say, as somebody who's been, a wrestling trivia guy for almost 1,000 days, to pick something else over wrestling. But
coming up this Friday, by the way. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, this Friday's Dance.
Next Friday.
Friday's Dance. Sorry.
Next Friday is day number 965.
Jesus. Madness.
And you're throwing a curveball at me. Should I retain against that one? And we'll get there when we get there. You already told me about it, but I'm not telling anybody else about it.
We gotta get that damn one for Friday tape first of all.
Yeah, that's true.
Scheduling's a bitch.
Keep your questions coming, guys. That was a good one.
Yeah, I actually like his follow-up question. Our first job out of college. You're assuming I actually finished college first of all. So there's that. While I was when I was in high school, I actually worked at Blockbuster Video when it was a thing.
Yeah.
When I started attending college, I was working at Magic Mountain. And then I had my accident. So my employment history has been phooey because of the side effects of that accident as a result. So this right here has been my most consistent job, be it volunteer or paid or whatever. This is what I've done for 18 years. It'll be actually Sunday is 18 years to the day of the premiere of our old show on NoDQ.com.
Yep.
When it was still Mayhem.com.
Yeah. My first job out of college, I actually worked as like an administrator for a mining company.
Nice.
That was a good job.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with the economy and everything in 2012, they were trying to phase it out.
Yeah.
So I lost my job as a result of that. The things that politics takes away from you.
Yeah.
It's like, and that was part of my frustration with our previous president. I took it very personally because it directly affected me.
Right.
It had nothing to do with the fact that he was black or anything like that, or he was a Democrat. It's the fact that his decisions directly affected my family's income.
Right.
So I took that very personally. And if you don't like it, then you can suck one. But that's just the way it is.
Right.
And before anybody gets on my case,
Bayless is saying my mic is low. How's that sound, sweetie? Is that better?
Yeah, that's very clear. Which is good to figure out, like right at the end of the show.
Right. Well, because when we were off air, you were saying I was too high. I was making the echo happen, so we were trying to find the balance.
It wasn't you as much as I was hearing myself echo.
Right.
Which I still hear a little bit of it, but it's not as prominent.
Right.
But yeah.
So the next question. No. No.
Yeah. Day number 993 is the season finale, Adrian. So
yes. Yeah, there's going to be a defense on 993. Should he get there? and then 14 days before that. So there you go.
So I have 3 defenses left before I hit my 1,000.
Right.
Which is insane to think about.
Right.
But I still have to make it there. I have 30 questions at most that I have to answer correctly.
Right.
To get to 1,000.
Unless you get a tiebreaker situation.
Please, no, God. I've had, 3 of those this reign?
Yeah.
Plus the one with Kyle.
Yeah.
It's...
Let's not speak of the Kyle match ever again.
Yeah, that one was basically a test to see if my tiebreaker thing worked.
Yeah.
Which it would eventually in the match with you and Cass.
Right.
But it's not a tiebreaker we ever went back to because during the tournament, nobody ever tied. And Aaron likes to do the sudden death questions. So it's...
Yeah. I like your style better, so that's what you're going to get.
I do too,
there, so,
but I'm biased.
Well, yeah, and it's you're the producer, I'm the host, so we do what we want. Do what I want.
Mm. And then after my 1,000th day, the plan is to do a double elimination style round robin tournament. I'll think of a more or a less clustery name than that.
Right.
Between Mr. Meacham, Chris Cass, and David Diaz.
Yes.
Mike? No. Not unless he wins. Wins the tournament. If he wins the tournament, then it's going to happen, and I don't have a choice. I told him he would be in the tournament when after that match happened. I'd love to have him back for that because he is a stud. There's no doubt about that.
But I'm saying right now, if he makes it through and faces Greg, I'm going to have my cardiologist on standby. I swear to God.
That was such a rough match.
Dude, even Mikey was sweating in the green room. We were all, wow.
Dude, him getting the Starcade question was...
Yeah. The first Starcade, the hell.
Down to the damn details.
The first pay-per-view Starcade, it's dude, first of all, how many people remember that the first Starcade wasn't pay-per-view? It was 87. It's bananas. Dwayne, you are literally late, brother. You're coming at the end, but we love you. We do.
Yeah, we're glad you're here.
On demand, brother, on demand.
Adrian said, when's the tournament? It'll be after the first of the year. It'll be 2021 because I'm not taping anything during Christmas.
I need to fix my schedule. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I had the tournament ending in WrestleMania weekend, so that's not going to happen now. So
I will figure out the logistics of it. Plus, we had talked about on a previous show, whether it was this one or another one, that actually I think it was the post show that we did. We talked about you, David, and Chris doing the triple threat thing or whatever we do for that, and then the winner of that actually gets a first round bye.
Right.
So that would be one less match we would have to do.
True.
But that's Wrestling Trivia Challenge. This is the Great Cherry Show.
That's right.
We will discuss that further in detail between the two of us should I get to day 1,000. And
it's
the funny thing is I feel like I should tell you this now. Jen and I are probably going to be out of town on the actual 1,000th day. So if we do some big extravaganza, we should probably pre-tape it.
I will say this. I am planning to do a congratulatory if you win against
Virtue.
When the show goes live, the post show will be live. So during that post show, have he'll toast or just something. I'll come up with something. I'm just trying to throw a little champagne up, something. Just to because that's I am in awe of that for real. I can't even process 1,000-day reign in any sport or entertainment. It's crazy. Oh, we have a guest pop in. Look at that.
Oh.
See if I can make it work here. Hello, darling.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. Do you recognize this voice, Greg Cherry?
I believe I might.
Does it sound a bit like a Toronto accent to you, Greg?
I was thinking it was her. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. Yourself?
Doing all right. What day is this? 9. I lost track.
So many days.
Yeah. Days since March 10th. That's how I figure out what day it is.
right, yeah. When did I beat Jeff?
When did I beat Jeff 2 years ago?
That's a hand.
9:56. There we go.
There you go. Yeah, see. Lisa usually catches me on my show or Mikey's show where I'm all proud of myself. This is when I get, brought down to earth by the fact that Greg's whooped my ass.
3 times.
3 times.
That's not a bad thing.
Including an Iron Man match.
Yes, that one was intense.
That is still probably my favorite thing I've done on No DQ that wasn't just me.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Oh, it was so fun.
Yeah. So I don't know how much of the show you caught, Lise. I'm thinking I'm not gonna do the Hell in the Cell thing. I'm not impressed by what they're offering up. I really don't want to sit through it for 3.5 hours trying to make it sound good for the rest of y'all watching me. You know?
Right.
So it's I mean, your boy Randy's in there and he always does great in the cell, but it's like that match and the Sasha match, and I'm kind of good. Although Roman and Jay intrigues me. I told you that privately. I want to see the I Quit stipulation because that looks like it's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So. Here you go. Here's a question that Lisa can answer too, Greg. Let's see if I can make it happen here. Do you think Bobby Lashley ever had a chance of being the face? WWE? No.
Not the face. I like Lashley. I would like to see the Hurt Business built up enough to where if Brock decides to come back, you can do Lashley against Lesnar. Right. But as far as being the guy, again, I like Lashley. I do. But I don't think that would happen.
And yeah, I remember when Bobby was prominent the first time, he got the rub, working with the Donald and everything, but then, they, again, the burial's an overused term, but they kind of threw him under the bus having him lose to Vince 2 shows in a row, which was stupid. And then, they brought him to Raw and they jobbed him out to, no offense, Lise, John, and then he was gone.
Yeah.
So it just, it was never in the cards for him, I don't think.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
If they didn't put the WWE title on him in 2007,
they're not going
to.
to.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I, honestly, he's at the point now where he's not the point man in Hurt Business. That's always going to be MVP. So,
who himself probably should be WWE champion because he has done fantastic this year.
Dude, I wanted so bad not be impressed with Montel, and I am so glad I'm wrong. Yeah, and then Dwayne followed up what you said about Her Business. What about Naomi being in there?
That would be cool. I mean, it's weird that she's on separate brands from. I mean,
Jimmy, yeah.
But Jimmy didn't get drafted necessarily. So are they splitting up the Usos too?
Well, here to quote, Jeff Meacham. Here's the thing: they've been saying give Naomi a chance for the better part of this year.
Yeah.
What if MVP goes? I'll give her a chance.
Maybe Naomi is the one that's ready for Asuka.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been impressed with Trin. I think she's very much the untapped potential queen of WWE.
Very much underrated.
Yes. Her and Natty had a phenomenal match at SummerSlam.
Yes, they did.
3 years ago. It's just ridiculous how good that match was. And people were looking because, it was Natty's moment. Well, yeah, Trin helped quite a bit.
Mm.
Hang on 1 second, guys. Let me mute. Talk amongst yourselves.
But yeah, I think seeing Naomi in Her Business will do. Although it's one of those weird things because we don't know if the Hurt Business anymore is a babyface group or a heel group because of their feuding with Retribution. I would like to see them.
they're kind of in the middle, right? Like you don't really know which way they're gonna go.
Right. They're the tweener category.
Yeah.
I'd be fine seeing Naomi getting there. I'd like to see Shelton Benjamin get some more opportunities also. Maybe him and Cedric becoming tag champs. That would be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They definitely have to do something with the tag division. It's all over the place.
Because right now it's New Day on Raw, Street Profits on SmackDown, and then throw together random people for teams.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Same with the women's tag titles, which are held by a thrown together team to begin with.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they don't really have like those established teams like they used to, right? Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys.
No, you're fine. And we're definitely over time on the show, but it's okay. We'll go a couple more minutes.
We have a very special guest. We go over time for Lisa.
Yeah, that's true. We
come in late.
Right.
Okay, it's fine. I would like to see a women's tag team from NXT win the women's tag team titles. I would like to throw out Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell.
There you go.
Or Shotzi and I was going to say Tegan, but Tegan's out. Or Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Either way.
Yeah.
Right? I'm down for it.
Yeah.
Where the hell is that picture?
Dwayne said, except for the Iconics, they were all thrown together tag teams. Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, Mandy and Sonya came up as a team. Sasha and Bailey had their history. Who else was in that first elimination chamber? Carmella and Naomi was a thrown together team.
Right.
I'm
trying to remember who else was on that.
The Iconics were probably in that. They didn't win.
That sounds right.
So who's that 16?
I'm trying to get this thing to work here.
Oh, it was Nia and Tamina.
Yeah, see, they could have done something really good with those two.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, again, they squash everything. So.
Yeah,
it was a Riot Squad. Not
I don't know if you guys said this while I was distracted. Does anybody else not see the stupidity in breaking Peyton and Billy up and then having Peyton be in a tag match on Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, like I said earlier, don't apply logic to wrestling.
Right. Yeah, it makes no damn sense.
But I think we've pretty much. Cody Ray's coming in with basketball news. If I follow the NBA, I would care, but I don't. I'm sorry, Cody. I don't follow the NBA barely at all to discuss that news. So it doesn't do anything for me.
And honestly, Lisa and my teams have won in the last 2 years, so we're good on basketball for a while now.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, the Raptors and the Lakers. Yeah.
That's it. We're good. That's all we need.
But I appreciate everybody for watching.
Yay!
And join us again next week for the Greg Cherry Show. Of course, it's Dwayne said I think it's a stepping stone for Peyton to feud with Lacey Evans. We'll see.
And that's fine, but initial impression, it's stupid. It just looks stupid to me. So.
And we might see them start feuding against each other in the Royal Rumble, but
which is fine.
I'm praying. I'm praying that the Royal Rumble is in front of fans, even if it's not a full crowd. I pray it's in front of fans. You need fans for the Rumble. You have to.
Yeah,
have to.
Don't expect very many special entrants either.
Right.
I mean, it could happen, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But for Lisa, for Mr. Meacham, I am, of course, not Doc Brown.
I'm not Martin McFly.
Yes. And we will see you all next week.
Does that make Lisa not Jennifer? Jennifer Parker?
I would guess so.
There we go. That'll work.
All right.
Sounds good. But until next week, this is the Greg Cherry Show. Check out all the stuff on the Jeff Meacham Network. Buy a shirt with his new Teespring store, teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network. No hyphens.
No hyphens. Yay.
Yes.
Yay.
And of course, teespring.com/stores/Greg Cherry Brand for all your Greg Cherry Show merch, among other things. And we will see you guys all next week.
We'll see you in the future.
All right, bye, guys.
Yes.
Don't hang up, please. Don't hang up, please.
Okay.
All right. We will see you all next week on the Greg Cherry Show.